When I moved to Willow Creek, it felt like I'd hit the jackpot minus the tax headaches or distant cousins crawling out of nowhere. I'd spent nearly a year scouring for the perfect spot, quiet, roomy, and, most crucially, free from the chokehold of a homeowners association. The moment I laid eyes on the corner lot at Maple Drive, just outside the HOA's iron grip but brushing up against their manicured streets, I didn't just sign the deed. I practically high-fived the realtor. My new place wasn't a mansion, but it had heart, a weathered driveway, a garage begging to be my workshop, and a patch of grass just big enough to justify a lawnmower. I was in love. The star of the show, my 1990 Nissan Skyline GDR, a beat-up beauty I was restoring bolt by bolt. It wasn't concours-ready, but it was mine, and every polished piece felt like a VY Tory. I spent my first weekends decking out the garage new tools, bright lights, and a sound system that only the squirrels could complain about. The neighborhood was textbook suburbia, identical houses, pristine lawns, and the kind of quiet where a misdelivered package was front-page news. I kept to myself, waved when it felt right, and steered clear of anyone who smelled like they moderated the local social media group. Life was good. That is, until I noticed the silver Honda CR-V creeping by my place a little too often, slowing down just enough to make my neck prickle. The driver was a woman in her 50s, hair pulled into a severe bun, face like she'd just bitten into a lemon. She'd glare at my garage like it had personally insulted her. I brushed it off, maybe she just hated my car's VYB. Some folks can't handle a classic that doesn't blend in with their beige sedans. One Sunday, I took a break from my shop, where I fix up vintage Japanese cars, and decided to pamper the Skyline. I pulled it into the driveway, hooked up the hose, mixed eco-friendly soap in a bucket, and set up a runoff trap to keep the street clean. I was meticulous, legally untouchable. With the garage door open and music humming low, I scrubbed that car like it was a religious ritual, coaxing 20 years of grime off its hood. Halfway through rinsing, I felt eyes boring into me. There was the CR-V parked across the street, and out stepped Ms. Lemonface herself, clutching a tablet like it was a holy relic. Her heels clicked across the asphalt, her expression a mix of disdain and mission. Without so much as a hello, she launched in, "You can't wash your vehicle here. It VY OLAT's Willow Creek, HOAs, NVY environmental and aesthetic codes." Section 7, paragraph 4. I paused, sponge dripping in my hand. "Sorry, who are you?" She tilted her chin like I questioned GRA VY tie. "Linda Harper, president of the Willow Creek Homeowners Association." I set the sponge down, forcing a smile. "Nice to meet you, Ms. Harper, but this lot isn't in your HOA." I checked the deed, the county records, everything. She scoffed, tapping her tablet, and VYing it toward me like a prosecutor. "All properties on Maple Drive fall under our VY Sewell standards. Car washing causes chemical runoff and disrupts the community's look." I sidestepped her screen. "Ma'am, I bought this place because it's outside your jurisdiction. I've got the survey map in my garage if you want to see it. And this soap? Phosphate-free. That trap catches every drop. You're actually standing on my property right now." Her eyes flicked to her feet, and she stepped back like I'd laid a trap. "Regardless," she sniffed, "your actions affect the neighborhood's aesthetic. The HOA will issue a citation." I laughed, short and sharp. "I'm not in your HOA, so you can keep your citation." Her hand was already on her phone. "If you're going to be hostile, I'll escalate this. You're a hazard. You're calling the cops?" I asked, dumbfounded. She met my gaze, unblinking. "Yes, for ecological violations, verbal aggression, and endangering the community. My son nearly walked through this mess earlier." I glanced at my setup, a bucket, a coiled hose, my Skyline gleaming innocently. "You've got to be kidding." But she wasn't. She stepped to the curb, already on the phone with 911, reporting a man aggressively washing his vehicle with unregulated chemicals. I stood there, gloves dripping, as my security camera quietly recorded every second. This was just the start. The police cruiser pulled up, lights off, tires crunching like a full stop to the absurdity. Linda, now planted at the edge of my lawn like she was guarding a fortress, flagged them down with the urgency of a national emergency. Before the officers could even shut their doors, she unleashed a performance worthy of an Oscar. That man spraying chemicals everywhere. There's runoff in the street, and he's been hostile to me and my son. No son was in sight. The officers, one a grizzled veteran, the other a rookie who looked like he'd rather be anywhere else, stepped out. I approached, sponge still in hand. "Afternoon, officers. I'm Ethan Brooks. This is my property, and I'm guessing you're here because I washed my car." The veteran scanned my setup, the eco-safe bottles, the runoff trap, my sparkling skyline. The rookie glanced at Linda. "You mentioned hazardous chemicals?" She doubled down. "I smelled them from across the street. The water's pouring into the gutter against regulations. I have the HOA manual right here." I held up my phone. "I'm not in the HOA. I've got the deed, zoning maps, everything." She stepped onto my land to confront me and wouldn't leave. "It's all on camera." I led them to my garage, where my laminated parcel report hung like a battle flag. The veteran studied it, then turned to Linda. "Ma'am, this property's outside your HOA's reach." Linda blinked. "No, that's wrong. Maple Drive falls under our VY Sewell authority." "Visual authority?" the rookie said, barely hiding a grin. "That's not how the law works," I said. The veteran handed back my papers. "Mr. Brooks, your setup's legal. You're in the clear." Linda's voice hit a new pitch. "He's hostile. His car is noisy, it's disruptive." The rookie eyed my skyline. "That's a GER, right? Sweet." I bit back a smile. Linda, now flailing, tried one last shot. "What about noise?" "He uses equipment." "Just a hose," I said. "Want a demo?" The veteran gave Linda a look that screamed enough. "Ma'am, you've called 911 over a car wash on private property. Stop making non-emergency reports. There are penalties." Linda's lips vanished into a thin line. "You'll regret this. He's ruining the neighborhood." The veteran gestured to her car. "This is over." She stormed off, her CRV squealing away. The officers nodded my way. "Save that footage," the veteran said. "Smart," I replied. But as I turned back to my skyline, I knew Linda wasn't done. That night, around midnight, a wet thud hit my front door. I opened it to find a laminated official notice. NVY environmental violation, taped to the knob with industrial glue, signed by President Linda Harper. It left a sticky scar when I peeled it off. The next morning, my skyline was a mess covered in foaming soap and garden mulch, a used sponge tucked under the wiper like a taunt. My security footage caught a hooded figure with Linda's unmistakable power walk strut. I uploaded it to a private folder and called my lawyer, who was starting to earn her keep. Then a neighbor, Greg, called. "Ethan, you need to see this." He handed me a USB drive like it was stolen goods. My wife's on the HOA board. She left her email open. I couldn't ignore it. The drive held a gold mine, an HOA chat called Neighborhood Integrity, filled with plans to apply pressure, file anonymous complaints, and use VY Sewell impact clauses to box me in. Linda's words were the worst. "If you won't follow rules, we break Hyman VY environmentally, socially, legally." Then a gut punch. "My son wanted to be a mechanic." I said no, too filthy. Now this guy flaunts his junker like it's art. Not here. It wasn't just rules. It was personal vendetta born from her own regrets, with me as the punching bag. 2 days later, I found a massive trash bin on my lawn, spray-painted waste from non-compliant lot. It was stuffed with greasy food scraps and broken junk, some labeled EVY Denke. Across the street, Linda stood, sunglasses on, smirking. I didn't yell. I recorded, called the cops, and told the officer, "I'm done playing defense." He glanced at Linda's pose and muttered, "You've got to be kidding." The final straw came on a Tuesday morning. I stepped outside, coffee in hand, to find a 6-foot billboard staked into my lawn with rebar. Painted in HOA beige, it screamed, "Warning, resident in violation. Unsafe materials. And no incompliant." A blurry photo of me washing my car was plastered on it, like I was a wanted criminal. Neighbors slowed to stare. A mom with a stroller gawked like I was a public menace. The rage burned hotter than my coffee. This wasn't just harassment, it was a public shaming. Tire tracks led straight to Linda's house. I didn't rip it down. I went inside, opened my laptop, and drafted a lawsuit with my attorney, Sarah Kane, over Zoom. Harassment, defamation, trespassing, abuse, we had it all, backed by VY Deo's GPS-tagged emails and Greg's drive. An anonymous email arrived mid-call, with more HOA chats calling me the gearhead rebel and plotting to regulate me until I begged to join. They saw my freedom as a threat. I filed a suit the next day. Linda didn't go quietly. A thick envelope from the HOA arrived, accusing Saw Me Saw of defaming Saw Them Saw. It was laughable, but it showed she'd fight dirty. The courtroom felt like a cage match. Linda sat behind 3 lawyers, her concerned citizen, mask slipping as her eyes darted to the door. Sarah, my attorney, stood like a general. Your Honor, will prove a calculated campaign of harassment and defamation by Linda Harper and the Willow Creek HOA. The EVY Danke rolled out. Linda's driveway tirade, the trash bin, the billboard, my mulch-covered skyline. The HOA chats were read aloud. Linda's words, he's not one of us, but he'll wish he was hanging like poison in the air. Her confession about her son sealed it. I won't let another man flaunt that lifestyle. Witnesses piled on Greg, 2 ex-HOA members, even the cop from the trash bin call. Sarah's masterstroke was a side-by-side of the real zoning map and Linda's photoshopped version, her forged boundaries glowing like a neon lie. The judge leaned forward. Ms. Harper, did you falsify documents? Linda stammered. I was protecting our standards. Your rules, the judge snapped. On property you had no power over. Her lawyers went silent. The jury didn't deliberate long. Verdict. My favor. Dulon $90,000 in damages. Legal fees covered. HOA ordered to apologize publicly. And Linda banned from HOA roles for a decade. The judge even suggested criminal charges for the forgery. As the gavel fell, Linda froze, her face pale. I leaned in as I passed her. Should have just waved and driven on. Victory tasted like barbecue and cold beer. 3 weeks later, I threw the car wash block party with a food truck, a bounce house, and a mariachi band. My skyline gleamed out front, surrounded by neighbors who'd once dodged me, but now shared beers and HOA horror stories. A banner flew high. I've got soap, rights, and rulings. Linda's got a sponge. The party went VY-row on social media, racking up millions of VYUs. A startup offered me a deal for eco-friendly car wash kits. I pushed for free kits for HOA VY Tims instead. My face ended up on a soap bottle, not the plan, but it felt right. Then another letter arrived, this time from a regional NVY environmental office, claiming improper rinse water disposal. The complainant? Victor Harper, Linda's ex-husband. I shut it down with a counter notification, and it was flagged as harassment. To cap it off, I hosted a Know Your Rights seminar on my lawn with Sarah, handing out pamphlets in confidence. As the sun set, kids played, music hummed, and Linda's house sat dark, blinds shut tight. Someone asked if I regretted not paying the citation to end it early. I pointed to my skyline, the crowd, the banner. Not for one damn second. This fight wasn't just about winning, it was about showing I'd never back down. So what do you think? Was I right to go full throttle, or should I play nice to keep the peace? Should HOAs have any say over private property, or are they just power-hungry clubs? And that billboard petty vandalism, or a step too far? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button if you're Team Skyline, and subscribe for more stories where the little guy fights back. Let's keep this rolling.